I hope is going to be a variety of discussions all throughout the region where we drill down and look at a specific geographic area. And one of the things that I've always been impressed with Arlington is it's just a great place for people of all ages and abilities to live. And this couldn't be illustrated better than the AARP Livability Index. And I will drop that into chat for you so that you can drill down to specific addresses if you'd like. But as you can see, Arlington in general has a score of 65, which is in the green, and that shows that it's a great community. Another really high score for a community at large is the Walk Score, and that's another great website to familiarize yourself with. Is Arlington is a very accessible and very walkable community. And with that, I've got our agenda up on the screen, and I'd like to welcome our hosts of today's event. And we got Kathy Turner with the Virginia Hospital Center, Blanca Cali with the Virginia Hospital Center, and I think we will have Kate popping on here. Kate Chipolte, God, I can never pronounce your last name, Kate, but I prompted you to bring on your video. There's Kate. Well, welcome, Virginia Hospital Center team. It's truly been enjoyable working with you as we created the Virginia Hospital Center Senior Resource Guide, which is going to serve as an outline for today's discussion. And I think before I drop off behind the curtain, let's make sure that everybody knows who the three of you are. So Kathy, you want to go first and tell everybody who you are and what your department does?
Sure. My name is Kathy Turner. I am the Director of Health Promotion and Senior Health at Virginia Hospital Center. I always say this, I've been at the hospital, it'll be 31 years this August. I don't like to admit that sometimes because it ages me, but I guess on a positive, it just says about what a great place Virginia Hospital Center is to work.
Great. And then Kate, what's your role at Virginia?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Chutwapi. I'm the manager of senior health here at VHC, and I've been here about a year and a half. So great. Looking forward to the discussion.
And then Blanca?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Blanca Cali. I am the assistant manager of senior health, and I've been here at the hospital 4 years now, almost 4 years.
Great. Okay, so let's dive in. We've got an ambitious agenda here today. And one of the things that I want to remind all of the supporters and vendors that supported the Virginia Hospital Center Senior Resource Guide that are in the audience to make sure that you put your information in and respond to any of the questions, concerns using chat or the Q&A feature. So I'm going to turn my camera off so that we can see these beautiful ladies and drop behind the curtain. And Kathy, you want to kick things off?
I will kick things off. So welcome everyone to our first ever Senior Expo virtually. We actually had planned on doing a Senior Expo pre-pandemic, and then of course everything live had to end. So I want to thank all of you. The goal for today's program is to really educate the people in our community about all the wonderful resources we have in Arlington County. I think, and you'll probably hear this from all the panelists, is Arlington County has some wonderful resources available for seniors, but I think that people don't realize or recognize all that is out there. So we really want this to be a very informative program so that you have a good understanding of all the services that are provided to seniors in the county. So you're going to be hearing from Virginia Hospital Center about our programs, the Arlington County Area Agency on Aging, and then the Arlington County Parks and Rec 55 Plus program, in addition to a variety of other services that are available in the county. All of this information is in our new senior resource guide. So if you are interested in a copy of the guide, I think Steve put information in the chat. You can reach out to him. You can reach out to us at seniorhealth@virginiahospitalcenter.com. seniorhealth@virginiahospitalcenter.com. Yes, that's our email. We can mail you a copy. You can find copies in the hospital lobbies, or you can go to the hospital website and look at it virtually. So I want to start off by just talking about some of the programs that we offer from the Virginia Hospital Senior Health Department. So we offer a variety of programs for seniors in our community. We have monthly healthy aging lectures. These are on a variety of different topics. Usually they are on Fridays from 11 to 12 p.m. Right now, or for the past a little over a year, they've all been virtual. We had just transitioned. So for those of you who may have attended some of our healthy aging lectures in the past, you know we were located over at Carlin Springs. We had just transitioned to having the healthy aging lectures over at the main library. And then COVID hit. So once we get back to normal, we'll go back to the library. But right now the lectures are virtual on Fridays. We also coordinate the Walk Fit Mall Walking program. And we're really excited because as of September of last year, after I think 6-year kind of time away, we are back at Ballston Quarter Mall. So on Tuesdays, we do the Walk Fit at Pentagon City Mall. On Thursdays at Ballston Quarter, there's always a member of the senior health staff there from 8:30 to 9:30. We do stretches at 9:15. But it's a free program. It's a great way to walk in a safe, climate-controlled environment. So please come out and join us. We also offer a variety of senior exercise classes. They range from adaptive yoga, senior stretch and strength, seated exercises, gentle Pilates, gentle yoga, Tai Chi, Feldenkrais. We actually have a new session of exercise classes starting the week of May 10th. So again, you can get information from us on that. We have 2 support groups that we coordinate. Kate coordinates the monthly Alzheimer caregiver support group. We also work with Old Dominion Home Care to coordinate the Parkinson's support group. We do programs throughout the year. Obviously, this past year, we weren't able to do as many, but we do Fall Expo, we do memory screenings, we have a variety of different senior-related events. We do senior wellness fairs. We also do a lot of talks out in the community. So if you have a church group or some type of senior-related group and you bring in speakers, please feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to come give a talk on a different subject. We do fall prevention, we do disease prevention, nutrition, exercise. And then finally, and I'll talk about this in a little bit more detail later on, but we are the local provider of the Philips Lifeline medical alert system. So we actually service all of Northern Virginia, and it is staff from the senior health department that go out and install the Philips Lifeline. We also have a program here called Safe Transitions, where any person discharged from our hospital can get the Lifeline medical alert at no cost for their first 2 months home. So that's just an overview of what we offer here at Virginia Hospital Center. And now I am going to hand it over to Rachel Coates, who is going to talk about the Arlington Agency on Aging. Rachel?
Thank you, Kathy. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to extend my appreciation to Virginia Hospital Center, as well as to Steve for coordinating this event, and for the many resources and services that you all provide. My name is Rachel Coates. I serve as a bureau chief within Arlington County's Aging and Disability Services Division. We are also home to our Agency on Aging. The population of older adults in Arlington County is growing fast. In fact, the population of our adults age 60 and above is growing at a faster rate than our total population. And 90% of adults who are older want to remain in their homes for as long as possible, but they may need some level of support or services to remain in their home safely and independently. Nationwide, agencies on aging, or AAAs, offer services to help plan, coordinate, deliver, and support a range of services that promote the dignity of older adults so that they can age in place and prevent hospitalization. All agencies on aging offer 5 core services, and you can see them there on the screen. Elder rights, that includes prevention, protection from abuse, neglect, and exploitation, safety, and ombudsman services. AAAs also offer caregiver supports and resources, including training, nutrition programs and services, health and wellness, and supportive services. In Arlington, our Agency on Aging is housed within the Department of Human Services within our local government. Aging and Disability Services, or ADSD, serves as the no wrong door point of access for services and supports for adults of age 60 and above, or individuals, adults with a permanent disability, as well as their caregivers. Our aim is to help connect older adults, people with disabilities, to community resources, housing programs, and other supportive services. You'll hear from some of our community partners shortly, but some of the programs and connections that we offer include nutrition programs, assessments and referrals to programs like Meals on Wheels, our social 60+ cafes, a senior farmers market program, nutrition counseling, and education. Another popular program are transportation programs and resources. We have an adult day program, which also serves as respite for caregivers. We have money management, legal services, and case management services as well. We also make a number of referrals to service providers and community partners. As you probably have saw on the slide that Steve shared around Arlington's age-friendly score, one area of growth that we have in Arlington is affordable and accessible housing. Some of the housing programs that we provide connections to and information about include real estate tax relief programs, resources about home modifications and renovations, housing assistance, including financial assistance, which may include emergency financial assistance to prevent evictions, local subsidies through our housing grant programs, connections to federal subsidies like the Housing Choice Voucher Program, and then referrals and partnerships with our independent living residence communities. There are many resources available in Arlington to foster aging in place, but we encourage having the conversation early and also having ongoing dialogue. We encourage everyone, individuals, families, and caregivers, to adopt a plan that promotes safety, but also focuses on quality of life, especially for the older adult, but for all involved parties. You can adapt and tailor plans as based on available and appropriate resources. Have the constant engagement and establish specific points of contact to coordinate care. Advocacy is a core and critical function in connecting information and referrals to help foster aging in place. Our contact information is located on the slide there, but anyone who wants to access our services can call 703-228-1700 or email us at arlaa@arlingtonva.us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Rachel. Next, I want to hand it over to another wonderful, great resource in Arlington County, and that is the Arlington County Parks and Rec and their 55 plus program. We have two folks here from Arlington County, Jessica and Ann. So ladies, I am going to hand it off to you two.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. We work closely with DHS and so the services that Rachel's just described. And our office, located in Parks and Recreation, is the one that operates the 5 55 plus senior centers. And our mission is to really enrich lives. We have a holistic approach to try and enhance people's older years. Next slide, please. These are our 5 senior centers. You'll see that they are located all across the county. Next slide. And we have activities including exercise and fitness classes from yoga, Zumba, Tai Chi. We have bike trips and walking groups. We have activities such as the knitting group you see here, other craft pursuits. Next slide. Just some of our programs are listed here. Next, we have lectures on various topics, regularly scheduled programs, including discussion groups on topics from books, films, history, current events, groups that play bridge or Sudoku, singing groups, music groups, classes in art history or painting, other creative endeavors, memoir writing, anything that you might be interested in. Next slide. We've been working on outdoor programs the past several months. Next. And this is our bike group stopping for a break down in Shirlington. Next, and we are the site for the social 60 plus cafes that Rachel talked about. Next, we have transportation for people who may not drive or may not be on a line of public transit. Next, and we have also been doing Zoom calls. This was our St. Patrick's Day celebration, just to show you that connection can still go on even in these pandemic lockdown times. And we hope to go back to our day trips, which were very, very popular, sort of a great way to get out and about with friends. And we have some special events outside. Here was a concert at one of our parks. So just so you know, lots of activities, just about anything you'd like. And this is how you can be involved. Get a 55 plus pass, 2 ways to do it, either with access to the gym facilities, and we welcome people who are not even residents of Arlington County. Next, you'll see the fees there. You can easily get the pass online, in person at a community center, or by mail. Next, and we just hope you'll stay in touch with us and think about getting involved in some of these activities. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Anna. And I really want to say that the Virginia hospitals, we feel really fortunate because the Virginia Hospital Center, we in the senior health department, we work so closely with both the Arlington Agency on Aging. Kate sits on that commission. We work with the folks from the 55 plus and go to the senior centers and provide lectures for them. And I guess I really want to emphasize to those of you who are in the office, in the audience that are seniors who have family members, there are so many opportunities within Arlington County to become involved. And we know that seniors we do better no matter what our age when we have those social connections. And so there are a lot of opportunities. Certainly right now, a lot of them are virtual, but there are so many opportunities within the county for people to become engaged and social and find something that you like. So I really encourage you to look into the programs offered through both our senior health department at the hospital, but also through the programs that Ann and Jessica offer through the 55 plus. So that kind of leads me into our next topic, which really is aging in place. And we know that for so many seniors, this is what they want to do. So what I want to do now is I want to go through and talk about all the things that are out there that enable folks to be able to stay in their home. And when you get a copy of your senior resource guide, you can see the overview is on page 38 through 50, and it's going to give you with all sorts of articles and information. But I want to start with having Wendy Zinkler, who's the executive director, talk about Arlington Neighborhood Village, because I think this is such a valuable program in Arlington County. And I think there's a lot of people who are not aware of the villages or don't have a good understanding of what villages do. So Wendy, do you want to take over?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kathy. I think I should just leave it right there and not go on and not lose my audience, but I will say a few words. First of all, I just wanted to let people know that today I'm presenting on behalf of Arlington Neighborhood Village, At Home in Alexandria, and Mount Vernon at Home. And I think one of the things you can understand from that comment is that there are villages all around the DC area. But today we're going to talk about the 3 villages here in Northern Virginia. You can find more information about us on page 40 of the resource guide, so feel free to turn to that while I'm talking. Let me start by saying villages are that entry-level point in the continuum of care. I know that we saw someone else make a comment about independent living, assisted living, memory care, long-term care, certainly hospice. Well, a village is at the very beginning. It's a nonprofit, community-based organization that is a network of volunteers that are helping their neighbors age in place. And I think it's really key to underscore that word volunteer. We are volunteers that are helping our neighbors. We offer that extra help that a senior needs with errands, transportation, small household tasks, daily check-in calls, and so much more. And in addition to all of that, we're also a strong social network that helps to reduce isolation. I think we can all appreciate over the past year that villages are needed today more than ever. I mentioned the fact, next, that we are 3 villages here in Northern Virginia, but as I said, there's more than 70 villages in the DMV area. And if you go to www.wayvillages.org, you'll find all the villages, so that if people are on the call today, or we have lots of well-trained professionals and experts, if you need to find a village somewhere other than Northern Virginia, you can go to that website. Certainly there are many villages here in the Northern Virginia area. I just want to, again, emphasize, when I say what are the direct services that are provided by volunteers, for all of the villages that I'm talking about for the past year, we've been taking people to medical appointments, taking them to the grocery store, the bank, and the post office, we've been helping them with errands. We work with them on minor household chores. I think as all of us know, nobody should get up on a ladder and change a light bulb. Get a younger person to come in and do that. We help them with their technology. We make a one-on-one connection so that someone feels that they have a friend, someone they can call on. We do friendly visits, walking buddies, and we even do occasional yard work. But in addition to these direct services, next slide, we also, as Kathy mentioned, create community. And that's almost as important as the direct services. I mean, people need to feel that they're connected to their community and that they're not isolated living at home. And again, we've all said it so many times, you know, this past year more than ever. But volunteers and members do create that special relationship that strengthens social connections. Much like Kathy talked about and Ann talked about, and Rachel, we all offer wellness and educational programs. We collaborate with each other, we use each other's facilities, we help promote these events. We're all doing picnics and gatherings. We actually, thank you to the Parks and Rec, have our outside picnic scheduled for September 25th. And we're pretty confident that we're all going to be together on September 25th celebrating. If you want to know more about our villages, this is a brief summary of the zip codes that we serve. And I want to encourage everybody to go to our websites, to reach out to us, to call our office numbers, to learn more about us, and get engaged. You know, one last thing I want to note, and sometimes it's hard for people to understand, but there's a difference between government services, nonprofit services, and other services. Villages are those nonprofits. We work well with the government and government agencies. We work well with the private sector, but we are that little slice in the middle that's nonprofit. So again, thank you very much. If you look briefly at the next slide and you write quickly, you'll see information, take a picture of it, and you'll have it available to learn more about us. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Wendy. And I also want to let everyone know that this Friday, and I put information in the chat, but this Friday at 11 a.m., we are having a healthy aging lecture that is all a whole 1 hour lecture on what is a village. And we are going to have Wendy, in addition to the executive directors of the other two villages that Wendy mentioned, Mount Vernon at Home and At Home Alexandria. And they're going to do a more detailed presentation on what is a village. So I encourage anyone who wants additional information to attend. Again, you can email us at seniorhealth@Virginia Hospital Center, and we can send you the registration info. You know, additional things for people who want to age in place, right? They may need help with meals. So you can see this is a list from our resources of different meals that are available. We want to thank our one of the sponsors for our senior resource guide, Elder Nourish. Next slide. Also, a big concern for folks is transportation, right? There are a lot of seniors that just don't have the ability to drive. So Rachel and Wendy and actually Ann all talked about transportation services. Here is a list again in our resource guide that talks about all the transportation services that may be available. Next slide. And then certainly if you want to age in place, there's some changes that you may need to make to your home for safety. As I mentioned earlier, one of the nice things about the Virginia Hospital Center is that we are the local provider of the Philips Lifeline Medical Alert. So this is a great opportunity for people who are wanting to stay at home. They can stay at home safely and know that just with the push of a button, they can get help, right? So they push the button, it's a waterproof button. You push the button, a live person comes up over the machine. They ask what you need, and they will send the appropriate help. It can be emergency services. It can be a family member, friend, neighbor who lives close by. We have a variety of options. We have cellular for folks who don't have a landline. We have fall detection buttons. We have mobile buttons that work anywhere. Again, we are It's staff from the senior health department who come out and do the install, do the service calls. So that's a really great option for people who are trying to stay at home safely. Other things that you may do, maybe you have an older home and you need to install some safety bars in your bathroom, or you need to do some ramps, or there's just other changes that you need to make in your home to make it safer or more senior friendly. Again, there's a really good article. You can see a picture of it here on Safe and Accessible Home. We want to thank, there are other people who do things where they're getting ready to downsize. We want to thank again some of the folks that helped us put together our senior resource guide, True Blue, Total House, and Overwhelmed. Next slide. And then finally, and this is a really critical thing, right? Again, people want to stay in their home, but they may need some additional help. And it may be that you need help for yourself. Maybe you need help for a significant other who's living with you. And it's really hard to know what type of service you need. And I want people to know that there are a variety of different types of home care depending on your level of need. So we have something called companion care, which is kind of like a surrogate family member, right? They can help you with meal prep, medication reminders, light housekeeping. It's just, again, nice to have that little bit of socialization. You can have folks that provide home personal care, right? Assistance with activities of daily living, things like bathing, dressing, eating, and other services. And then the next level is skilled nursing care, right? Skilled nursing care requires a physician order. It's usually a RN or a therapist. It's time limited. So a lot of times when you're discharged from the hospital, you may be discharged and the case manager says you need skilled nursing care for X period of time. Usually things like wound care, IV monitoring, physical therapy. And then when that skilled nursing care ends, sometimes then you need still to have that home personal care or that companion care. We have a really good article in the guide on choosing home care. You can go to the next slide, Steve.
I can run through the home care providers that have supported the Virginia Hospital Center Senior Resource Guide. We've got a handful of these, but we recommend that you take a look at them, and many of them are on the call today. Got Assisting Hands Home Care, Bright Star Care in Arlington and Fairfax, Baby Boomers Home Health Care. We've got Georgetown Home Care, Independent U, Home Instead, Life Matters, Nursing Referral Service, Old Dominion Home Care, and there is a very unique program at Goodwin House. At Goodwin House, they do have a home care home health provider, but they also have a program that's worth looking into, and it's called Goodwin House at Home. And I recommend, do a search for that or look at it in the guide. In addition, we have options for Senior America, Right at Home, Paragon Home Care, Sencura Home Care, and that runs through, we've got a lot of support from the home care community, and there's a lot of resources out there for folks in the Arlington area.
Great. Thanks, Steve. And before I hand over to Blanca, I just want to say for those of you in the audience, if you have questions, just general questions about home care, as Steve said, there are a bunch of representatives from those different home health agencies that are here on the call. So if you have a question, type it into the question box and we can get that answered for you. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Blanca, who is going to talk about different housing options.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. All right, so for housing options, in the Senior Resource Guide, you'll find, starting on page 51 to 64, information about independent living, assisted living, nursing and rehab, specialized, and also life plan communities.
And Blanca, I threw this slide into your deck here. And I'm going to provide a link while you're talking, but we created a Google Map link so that you can see all of the different types of housing and where it's located in Arlington, Virginia. As you can see, the full spectrum of care is available in Arlington, and many are subsidized in low income and moderate income as well.
Okay. So there are 3 different types of housing. There's the independent living, which is an option for active adults who don't want the hassle of home ownership. It offers a variety of activities and meal plans. You have assisted living, which is an option for someone who needs assistance with activities of daily living. These communities are registered, licensed, and regulated by state agencies in most states. They also include recreational activities and meal plans, and a lot more. Then you have the nursing and rehab, where this is for individuals who are too frail or sick to stay at home. And care is provided under the direction of a physician. And there's short-term care such as rehab and respite. Now, in the senior resource guide, you'll find a list of assisted living facilities in the area. And at a glance, you'll be able to see how many units they have, and their monthly cost is also listed there. For the nursing rehab portion on the list, you'll find information of do they take Medicare, Medicaid, how many beds they have, and also what their daily fees are. Next slide.
Oops. Okay, sorry. There we go.
All right. And specialized services available also, like memory care communities, hospice services, the Lifeline Communities, which were formerly known as continuing care retirement communities. In page 59, you'll find a short article on how the Lifeline community term got put together, which is really nice. So Lifeline Communities offers a combination of living options and amenities for individuals as they age and their needs change. And also you'll find a list of the Lifeline communities in the area. In this list, at a glance, you'll be able to see if they're pet friendly, what their entrance fees are, and then some even list if they have a pool, which is a nice feature to be able to see at a glance when you're looking at retirement communities.
Great. And Blanca, very good overview. And we certainly can answer questions here shortly as we kind of wrap things up. But I want to make sure that we thank the senior housing supporters of the Virginia Hospital Senior Resource Guide. We've got Goodwin House and Vincent Hall Retirement Community. Goodwin House is in Alexandria and Arlington, Vincent Hall's in McLean. And you'll find that these both have all levels of care and a wide variety of different types of support. Silverado in Alexandria is memory care only, an exclusive memory care community. And Paragon Assisted Living also provides home care, but they have some small residential assisted living communities right on the border of Arlington. And last but not least, Sunrise Senior Living, who many of us are familiar with, has many locations throughout the region with, again, a wide variety of different levels of care. And many of us in Arlington are familiar with the Jefferson, Bluemont Park, and Sunrise at Arlington. In addition, we want to make sure to thank the hospice providers in the Senior Resource Guide, and those are Capital Caring Health, Vitas Healthcare, and Goodwin House, who has a palliative care and hospice program. And I think that good overview there, Blanca. Now we jump into resources with Kate.
Hello, yes, thank you. We're in the home stretch here with the presentation and getting ready to get to Q&A. So let me just go over for you just a few more resources that can be very helpful. I'm going to be referring to information that you can find on pages 22 through 37 of the resource guide. There's a wonderful table there, as well as articles that you'll find helpful. But I want to highlight a few of the professionals that you might want to call upon as you're kind of navigating this field. And these are professionals with specific expertise, specific knowledge. So I thought it was important to learn about them. First off, let me tell you about aging life care professionals. And again, there's a really good article on them on page 27 of the guide. It'll give you a really nice overview of who they are, what they do, and why they might be important to you. But essentially, they're people that you can call on to help you kind of evaluate and assess your needs in a very holistic manner. And they bring a ton of knowledge and expertise about what resources exist in the community and can help you very effectively and efficiently kind of sift through those resources and come up with a plan. And you can imagine this can be really helpful if you're somebody that's just feeling overwhelmed. Perhaps you don't know where to start to help yourself or a loved one. Perhaps you're trying to help someone out of town and you're not even local. So having that on the ground resource can be extremely beneficial. These professionals, typically they're happy to take on one project and task to get you through or establish a long-term relationship. So that is one resource. And you may have heard them referred to as geriatric care managers, but that now they're often called aging care life managers. So, and here are some other professionals in the field that again can help you through transitions in your life. Senior and specialty move management companies. If you've been in a home for years and years and years, decades, you probably have a lot of stuff trying to figure out how to, if you're going to move, how do you kind of sort through all that stuff? Do you donate it? Do you set up a sale, estate sale? You know, sometimes it can be really helpful to have somebody who can, you know, kind of objectively get through that big task. So that's a resource you can call upon. Elder law. We know there are a lot of complex issues, both elder law and financial issues. But elder law attorneys are really helpful. You know, lawyers specialized in estate planning, will planning, navigating Medicare and Medicaid. That can be very complex. It's like a different language sometimes, we feel like. They can help you sort through advanced directives. What does that mean? Who should I be including in that? So really kind of helping you drill down on some of those difficult issues. Also financial planners, again, those can be very helpful professionals that will help you sort through those complex financial and insurance question issues. They'll kind of take a big picture look at what you have, what are your assets, what are your debts, and kind of what are your goals, your long-term goals, and help you navigate through that, those decisions. So again, those are all specialty resource and professionals in the field. This is a great place to start, to kind of do your own education, perhaps before you call upon somebody. And this is, again, an article in the guide, and I have that page number 35, page 35. So when you get your hands on the guide, that might be a great place to start. Advanced directives. Thank you, Steve. Again, this is information about what it's covered, and it's actually a template that will get you through some of those questions to get started. So Steve, I'll let you give a shout out to the sponsors.
Holy cow. Wow, man, this is a lot of information that we packed into a short period of time here. Again, we really want to thank the supporters of the Virginia Hospital Senior Resource Guide. We've got these 4 organizations all provide aging life care management that Kate mentioned. We've got Lionheart Elder Care and Consulting, Life Matters, Independent U, and Lighthouse Senior Care Consultants. And then also we wanted to reference a few more providers that supported the resource guide. Overwhelmed, how can I help? Which does the senior move management and safe and accessible homes. The FAR Law Firm, which specializes in elder law, and Life Care Affordability Plan. Definitely check out that article that Kate referenced on finance. This company, Life Care Affordability, provides a very unique service to help you map out and plan all of the things that we have been talking about today. And that leads us into an opportunity for open discussion. And we've got the Virginia Senior Health Department contact information on there. I tell you, if let me go to the stop share so that we can see people a little bit better. And I think actually if the Area Agency on Aging and Senior Rec could maybe come on the screen, because this first question from Cheryl Bartholomew talks about intergenerational programs, and I'm going to paraphrase, but she says, you know, that baby boomers want to remain engaged in life as they age in place, and that the opportunity to not necessarily be in age segregated environments, but to be amongst people with all ages. And just kind of curious, does the Area Agency on Aging or Parks and Rec have some opportunities for intergenerational programming with older adults?
Sorry, Rachel, did you want to go first?
Go ahead, Jessica.
Sorry, I just happened to drop also in that chat. I thought it was a great question because as 55 plus programs, and I'm sure as Rachel's programs, we're always thinking of ways to reach out to more community members, not just 55 plus, because intergenerational is so important. So we offer programming that's outside the typical 55 senior center aspect, 9 to 5. So we do weekdays, weeknights, evenings, and then that allows us to work with local civic association groups or community groups or nonprofit. But a lot of our musical performances or acoustic cafe where we're working with local artists, we have the ability then to invite the community. We also do a lot of center-based stuff, again, with the civic associations. We provide one-to-one support because who knows best but the youth on how to do technology, especially with the iPads and iPhones and anything technology related. We do pen pal programs, and then we also offer a lot of county-wide programs in the county that then goes for all ages and abilities. And so those are probably quarterly or so that allows the community to come together. So either you might see some of our senior performers are on stage or providing some of the support to that. So I did go ahead, hopefully it came out, I'll put in the chat a link to our 55 plus guide, which shows a lot of a variety of programs from indoor to virtual, and hopefully in the future in person.
Great.
And just to build a little bit off of what Jessica shared, as Steve mentioned, Kate is a member of our Arlington Commission on Aging, and the commission developed an age-friendly action plan for Arlington, and intergenerational programs and activities is one of the core goals of the Commission on Aging and an age-friendly Arlington. But there is work to do. I think one, it's within our division, we recruit interns. And so trying to get younger generations engaged, passionate about this field, about healthcare, about the opportunities that exist to really benefit from a career in this field is one of the things that we do. We also partner and work really closely with Volunteer Arlington. So trying to get students, college students, younger generations engaged in our programs. In fact, last summer, our Meals on Wheels program, which did shift to a bulk delivery, we were supported by some long-term volunteers, but also college students, and many of whom went away in the fall. So looking for more seasonal opportunities, also ongoing opportunities. And I know that many of our independent living communities have found some great success in partnering with elementary schools, with some of the high schools around training programs for technology engagement. And then over the course of the last year, isolation was a primary concern for us for our older adult population. And we had great success in launching a Friendly Callers program that was multi-generational. So looking for more ideas. And if anyone does have some ideas, feel free to include them in the chat. And we'll be sure to share that with our Commission on Aging for additional follow-up.
Great. Excellent. So this is oh boy, I'm looking at a million different places. Okay, so yeah, I really like the fact that we got Cheryl Bartholomew making a lot of comments in Q&A. She's in Bozeman, Montana, but her heart is still in Arlington, so she gives a big shout out there.
Right.
And I just threw into the chat the link to Age-Friendly Arlington. That really looks like quite an extensive and long-term project to sort of shape the community into being age-friendly and is that complete now, Rachel, or are you still in the process of that?
No, just like aging, it's a process. So Age-Friendly Arlington is it's a plan. It's really looking at the domains of that the World Health Organization and AARP set forth, but customizing that to Arlington. So looking at some of those different areas of housing, transportation, health, and wellness, positive aging, looking at those different areas, outlining what are the goals and the objectives of an age-friendly Arlington. We are already an age-friendly community, but there's more that we can do. And so it's a comprehensive document, but it's also a living document. And as Kate knows, we had a very robust commission meeting yesterday morning around transportation, looking at Vision Zero, pedestrian safety. So there's a lot of work to do. And thank you, Steve, for sharing the link for that. Anyone is welcome to attend a Commission on Aging meeting. Also, we have committees that really dive deeply into these different topics. Jessica's part of our outreach committee. So having all of this information, how do we get the information out, make it accessible? And Virginia Hospital Center has been a great partner in helping to make Arlington age friendlier.
Mary
Steve,
Jane,
I saw the question, this Kathy, I saw the question about does it matter where you live? So I'll speak to the hospital, and then maybe Jessica, you can talk about your programs. But for Virginia Hospital Center, our programs are open up to anyone. So it doesn't matter where you live. Anyone can take our exercise classes. Anyone can participate in the mall walking program, the healthy aging lectures. I will tell you, and it kind of goes back to Cheryl being in Bozeman. The beauty of our virtual programs now is our virtual support groups, our virtual fitness classes, is we have a ton of people who have moved out of the Arlington area, had stopped taking our fitness classes or had stopped participating in our healthy aging lectures because they'd moved away out of state, and are now participating virtually from anywhere. But in terms of our Lifeline, we service all of Northern Virginia and parts of DC. So all Prince William, parts of Loudoun County, all of Fairfax County, Alexandria City. And again, all the services that we provide are open to anyone, regardless of where you live.
great. And that question was from Mary, who lives in Falls Church City, which, as we know, borders Arlington. And so she was curious, and I think, Jessica, you all talked about how you have sort of an out-of-county fee structure. But I am, in addition, I'm curious with the Arlington Area Agency on Aging, is there a restriction, Rachel, if somebody calls an Arlington area agency, but they live in Falls Church?
So it does depend on the program, but the benefit of that is that we work really closely with our sister jurisdictions. So for instance, if it's a housing program, if there is a residency requirement, we will connect with the individual with like the Fairfax Agency on Aging or Alexandria. We even work across the river and DC, sometimes Maryland as well. Another great resource in addition to the many that we learned about this morning, the National Council on Aging has a benefits checkup. And so what's great about that is you can type your zip code in, and then it will populate with some of the resources you may qualify for. But we encourage, even if there's a question, reach out to your local AAA, and we'll help connect you with the resources.
Great. We are getting close to the top of the hour. And so I always like to sort of throw out this final Hail Mary for any questions, comments, or clarifications. But Kathy, while I throw that out, if you wanted to sort of address any wrap-up questions or comments, and then perhaps questions will come in.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Again, I just want to thank everyone who participated, all our panel members. As I said, we feel pretty lucky that we have such wonderful programs in Arlington, and we all work together, which is nice. We don't work in the silos. We really all work together in terms of trying to provide services to our residents, not only in Arlington County, but all over Northern Virginia. As Steve said, if he gave information, and maybe Steve, you can type it in, you can reach out to either Steve. I would say if you want a lot of copies, reach out to Steve. So if you're from an organization or a senior living facility and you want a lot of copies, reach out to Steve. If you just want one copy, you can certainly email Virginia Hospital Center, Senior Health at virginiahospitalcenter.com, and we can send you a copy. Or as I said, they're in all the lobbies of the hospital. You can also go to our website and look at it virtually. We are also going to try and share this, a recording of this on the Virginia Hospital Center website in our senior health section. So again, thank you all very much for participating. Thank you to all the panelists as well. And Steve, thank you for coordinating all of it.
Well, yeah, and I really want to give a final shout out to the many providers that supported and made the Virginia Hospital Center Resource Guide possible. We had a very ambitious agenda today, and and I hope that I will make sure that we send follow-up so that you can connect with many of those providers, as well as all the resources that you learned about today. And give us feedback on this, because I can see us doing this on a periodic basis. Any words of wisdom, thoughts, topics that you want us to address that we didn't address today, and we will make it happen. Okay, so with that, again, thank you, everybody. And like I said, we will be following up with everybody on this call shortly.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.